Hello again everyone, it's Slightly Mad. This is an extension of the crafting tutorial and basic guide. You can almost call it volume 4. As you know, lean-to's been set up, as has the fire, and I'm semi-constructing this wooden house to show you the end result. As you can see, it's still night time. I'm hugging the fire to stay alive, and we've got a nice contrast between day cycle and the night cycle. So when this whole sky gets light, it'll obviously be day, and I can leave the warmth of the fire and loot the nearby buildings that appear to have respawned, denoted by the little flashing things inside. As you can see, I just absolutely crapped myself because a wolf came flying through the fire and tried to eat me. And now I'm bleeding. That's not good. And now we have a sprinting skeleton that's decided to come into the camp. Ooh. Not good state to be in, bleeding, because currently it's a little bit buggy. Let's just hope that some cloth spawns here soon. Frostberries, as you can see in my one slot in the inventory, they significantly improve both your stats as seen. It's good to get your hands on a few of those. As you can see, I also managed to get hold of a worn leather harness in the buildings. So building this house, I suggest you concentrate on the logs first. They're easier to carry and you don't need to break them down. So concentrate on the logs first. Just been stabbed in the bum by a skeleton that's invaded the camp. It's definitely an increase in activity here at night time. This is probably going to be the death of me. It's a club wielding skeleton. If they get a hit on you, you're pretty much down. But this is the chap that drops that oak smasher tool, which is great. And there we go, it's the rotted oak smasher. Very good bit of kit. So just to sum up, we've had 3 skeletons, one being extremely tough, and a wolf penetrate the camp tonight in one night cycle. And the night's not over yet. As you see, the night's quite a drain on your supplies. I've gone from having about 3 apples and 2 bits of meat down to 1 apple left, and still not light yet. A bit concerning. Saying that, Meals on Wheels have just turned up. See if we can get both. 2 deer steaks coming up. As you notice there, picking up the stuff is a bit of an issue with stacking items. You have to manually stack the items, otherwise you could miss them. Yet another encroacher on my little camp. Just gonna make myself another small pouch to increase the inventory space a little more. It's get a bit cluttered now. There we go. Message to devs: night cycle too long. It's been about 15 minutes now and I've been sitting hugging this fire for the whole time. Another note to devs: they should lower the bleeding on this game, because if you don't have bandages you just permanently bleed out. There's no way of stopping it unless you get other cloth, which is ultra rare to find. Your best bet is finding it in the buildings in this town. But as you can see, I've spent a whole night cycle here and none spawned. As you can see, what I've been doing here is a sinew will turn into, sorry, a piece of leather will turn into 3 bits of sinew. Small pouch is 4 of those to leather. I actually use those until I can craft the fur-lined backpack, just to give yourself a little bit more carry space, because that's absolutely vital early on. So kill the deer, go for the small pouches first. It's a lot easier. Just to be a little bit carefully. I mean, you can see the gold on the horizon of the sun coming up, but this looks like daytime, but it's not true daytime yet, as you can see by my card still dropping down fairly rapidly. So don't stray too far away from the camp. It has probably been about 20 minutes for the nighttime cycle, but by now, as you can see, stuff's respawned. We've got leather boots and apples in the main house. As you can see, as I'm constructing, the house is starting to take shape. One question I'll try and get answered throughout the course of this crafting tutorial is whether or not trees respawn, because that's a very important question considering I'm playing on this server solo, and in future there's going to be multiple people chopping all the trees down in the locality. Another question I'll try and get answered from the devs is player ownership. Is it possible for someone to come along and steal your house during this stage of construction? That is also fairly important. As you can see, the walls are now up. Let's carry on. Just a point to note, I've only done this for learning purposes, putting the house here. I don't think it's a good idea to put this house in town because it appears that the loot from these buildings here is now not spawning. So don't be greedy and don't ruin other players' experiences of the game. As you can see, this is the result. All these corpses on the floor of a knight defending my camp. Wolves and skeletons everywhere. You really have to stock up on food for the night time, people. I'm suggesting 8 bits of food at the very least, just to prepare yourself and stand by that fire. Okay, for the next experiment, we're going to, because the logs have completely finished, we've got 35 out of 35, I'll try and load logs in and see if it automatically turns them into sticks, so that'll be fairly helpful. Which it doesn't, so we do have to break those components down. Not a drama, because as I said in the previous crafting video, 2 logs, as you can see, make a stick. Let's load those in. As you see, we're going to put the final touches on the house now. There we go, complete house with door. Come on in and take a look at my pad. So we see, it seems to act just like a normal townhouse. Questions need to be asked. Does it protect you from the cold? Does it stop the buff going down? Is it lockable? How do I store my stuff in it? I'll try and get those answered on the forums. So thanks for watching. That was part 2 on how to go from nothing to having a fire, a lean-to and a house. Hopefully in the next section, wait one. How rude of that wolf to interrupt. How not to turn your back on this game, because things like that happen. Okay, well, that is now the end of the second tutorial. Stay tuned, and hopefully in the next section I'll be able to not get bitten in the bum by a wolf when I'm trying to talk to you, and we will get some of the armour crafted. But we now have enough stuff for the third line bag, which is awesome. See you later.